community builder and a user group leader from Dubai.
From Cape Town, South Africa.
An AWS hero, and I'm organizing the user groups in Norway.
Community hero from Italy.
I am an AWS hero.
AWS Bay Area user group in San Francisco.
An AWS machine learning hero from Cameroon.
An AWS hero from India.
AWS community builder from Australia.
So Daniela, tell me about what is a recap?
An AWS recap.
Recaps.
Recap.
What is a recap?
A recap is an event where we go over the different services and announcements that have been made during the AWS reInvent that you see around me.
The best way to learn about all of the new announcements from here, from anywhere in the world.
An event organized by a community for the community.
Where people that attended reInvent in person try to summarize all the new launches, but also to add some sensation and feelings that you can only have here live in Vegas.
New updates from data, machine learning,
Qubits and quantum computing, and how it can transform the way you do your work.
The networking, the catching up with colleagues and friends and amazing people in this industry.
Are you trying to organize one of them?
Yes, exactly. We do a bigger recap in Zurich.
Open to everyone that is interested to technology related to AWS.
We have Q&A with the presenters to learn more about the services and do deep dives.
How do you get to be part of these reInvent recap sessions?
It's easy to sign up.
If you want to stay in tune with all these new features and releases,
The recaps are organized by the various AWS user groups throughout the world.
to get those recaps and to be able to catch the train with the new releases, just join your local user groups around you. Find one.
Or reach out to AWS hero, AWS community leader, or community builder.
just join an AWS community or a user group in your region.
Thanks for watching and see you later.
I missed it.
Yeah. Hello. Assalamualaikum everyone. So this is AWS reInvent recap for Bangladesh, mostly actually student edition. So okay, so right now I have Tisha Apu, who is the AWS user group Bangladesh lead. So currently she will talk about AWS user group and how you can interact as a student and what you can make the most use of it by joining the AWS user group. So actually up to you, Tisha Apu.
Thank you so much, Mitul. Hello, everyone. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for joining in the AWS reInvent recap, specifically for students who are not much aware of AWS services or cloud as a whole. So today's discussion would be mostly, I would be focusing on mostly about user group and why it is important to everyone, like, not students as well as professionals, to join the user group and how you can actually get benefited from this user group's activities. And also, I think after that, we have a very huge announcement, which Mitul will convey with the speaker himself. So we have a very good announcement for the students, specifically how to engage with AWS in a far better manner. And then we will see some of the reInvent recaps, where I think Mitul would be taking over it. So to start with the journey of AWS User Group Bangladesh back in 2017, when it was first started, I remember specifically it was just only two founders, so me and then another one was Mizan Bhai. So Mizan Bhai was the tech heart of the user group, and I was basically a techno-commercial heart. So techno-commercial, why would I say so? Because I was only maintaining PR and mostly organizing the events at that point of time. And initially our agenda was back in 2017 when user group was created, specifically the AWS user group was created. Nobody was much aware of the cloud as a platform as a whole in Bangladesh, and we saw a lot of cloud specific activities and implementations was going on all over the globe, but in Bangladesh it was very few. And we thought of that now it is the time that we gather the professionals who are working in AWS cloud in different organizations, might be working on an application or software which are hosted on AWS, And sometimes what happens, if you have a professional group, then you can ask for different challenging questions that you are facing in your day-to-day life. And then what happened, based on that agenda, we first started back in 2017 June with a small meetup kind of a program. So I remember me and Mizanbhai. So Mizanbhai was speaking about different services, and we sort of invited a few of the people through a Facebook group. And the Facebook group still exists, and now we have more than 5,000 members in it. But initially it was only 20, 30 people, mostly the people we know professionally. And then since then it has come so come a long way. So what happened, the first meetup was attended virtually by a few people. I think hardly around 5 to 10 people. And one person, he thought the meetup would be in-person event. So he directly joined in our office. So it was interesting to even though it wasn't COVID time in 2017, virtual webinars wasn't that common back in 2017, but we started with this ritual, and I think Bangladesh was far ahead in the game of virtual webinar in that sense. So yeah, that was the starting, and then we never had to look back. We organized our meetups and different webinars time to time, and since it's a technical group, so it's obvious that most of the people, it won't be a very attendance heavy kind of a technological session, rather than the people who thinks they would be benefited out of this webinars or technical sessions, they would join. And over the time we have we have been blessed by different speakers from all over the globe. We have seen our Bangladesh Amazonian who is working in Sydney or US or in other part of the world. They actually got engaged and came in the webinars, meetup, sometimes in person, sometimes virtually. And this actually created a lot of encouragement for the people who are working in Bangladesh to get exposed to different professionals around the globe. And then what happened, we were seeing some of the students as well were very interested about learning AWS. So I specifically remember Shorab or Sulaiman Kobir, who was then a student in BRAC. So he was very interested, and he sort of came forward and requested whether he can be a part of the team. And we were delighted, because most of the cases this technological group doesn't give people back a lot of things. It doesn't give you goodies as much as some of the probably the big giant company who has local office in it can provide you different amusement kind of goodies and stuff. So as a part of AWS user group Bangladesh, it was all voluntary work. And then what happened, Shorab was engaged in some of the webinar. He was organizing, he was helping, he was learning. He then became I think community builder. By that time we had few community builder, and we didn't have any clue about them. Even though they got inspired, I think we had specific webinars on community building and how you can become a part of the community builder program. So it was I think it is important that not only you become a part of some AWS program, it's also important how you can give back to the community, and that's how we actually learn into. So then after, why I'm actually emphasizing or telling Shorab's story, because it's very important. Right after his graduation, he got a job in a startup, and it was very immediate. He didn't have to wait for any recommendation or anything, because he had been starting. He had started learning since his undergrad, and he gathered very good knowledge about hosting and all stuff. Besides, he had knack for ML, and he was a very good Python developer. So then he joined his company in which he is now one of the tech lead. I think so. It was in a very short amount of time I have seen this kind of growth, which is possible, and which is which is possible through networking and also giving back to the community. So this is why I always mention specifically, though, join user group, join and learn how cloud is evolving. I think it's not only one platform. There are different other cloud platforms, but you start with at least one. And since AWS is one of the prominent, I always suggest that you start with AWS, and they have a huge amount of content, and they have free tools and sites where you can actually learn and grow yourself. So now if I want to focus on cloud scope, as a professional, how many scopes you would get. It is tremendous to see how important cloud as a career has become nowadays. I have seen so many DevOps opportunities. People are companies are looking for DevOps in a furious manner. I think last year December, when we hosted AWS Community Bangladesh for the third time, and these two specific company I would mention, since they were our platinum sponsors, so Bikash and then Brainstation 23. So these two companies were really looking for DevOps. So you understand how important DevOps as a role has become, and everywhere, whenever you are applying for jobs, you would see there would be a DevOps scope in the company. If you go to any company's career page, especially in IT, you would see there would be a one DevOps or solution architect. This kind of role is available, and people are looking for experienced people, not only certified people, but experienced people.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to get into this cloud computing as a fresher, what would be your steps? So I think that is more important, since it's a student focused event today. So I would specifically mention few of the steps that you can follow and get yourself prepared. And after you get yourself into a job, and you have to grow over. It's not only learning is only important, also hands-on experience is very important if you want to grow as a DevOps engineer. So at least 2-3 years of experience is very much needed. And but you want to start as a fresher, you have to select the right kind of. First step is to select the right kind of cloud computing courses. Secondly, since you are a student, you have enough time to get yourself prepared for a certification, because when you start as a professional, sometimes your workload is too heavy and you won't be able to get time to get certified. But certification is, I would say it's important to have, but it's not must to have. But if you have time, do the certification, since it would be something that people would see first. You have a certification, so it's evident that you have some kind of knowledge about the platform or about the subject, right? And then third step would be building a project or getting yourself engaged in a project. You might be doing dummy project all by yourself, based on different available outsourced project or open source project, which is available for you, or which is easier for you to start. So project and experience is very important. Then fourth step would be creating a cloud portfolio, like your portfolio, how you have actually you have actually did the projects, cloud projects, and where you actually did work. Suppose you have done CI/CD pipeline thing, you have done a deployment, you have done an application with serverless. So this kind of this kind of activity should be there in your portfolio. And then go for an internship. You can also go for freelance work. There are lots of freelancing opportunities in cloud nowadays. And also expand your reach, which is very important. You have to expand your horizon. You have to network. You have to know the people who are working in which technology, and whom to actually get to sort of help you out to get your first job. So this is very important. So these few steps, I think you can follow to understand like to get ready for cloud computing job as a fresher. So, and student life is the best, best part. I think you have at least few times for yourself to get invest in yourself. So yeah, I think that's about it.
Thank you so much, Apu. So I also have some questions regarding as a student, basically, most of the students don't have any expertise with AWS or cloud, right? So how can they get benefit from joining AWS user group or something like that? Can you mention that?
Yes, yes. I was specifically mentioning how people are often posting about different positions, roles, and as a fresher also there are lots of internship opportunities going on. So suppose the organization who are actually taking DevOps or taking solution architects, there you can join as a intern, and you can specifically request them that I want to grow my career in DevOps or cloud capacity. I think most of the IT companies, leading IT companies in Bangladesh, have this scope. You join there as an intern, and sometimes what they do after 3 to 6 months, they actually permanent you as a developer. So, suppose in my case, what happens in Bring Session 23 is the intern, after completing their internship, they have a scope for appealing towards the organization that I want to grow my career as a cloud professional. Can I be part of the cloud team? Then what happens? He or she who is interested in growing their career in cloud, he would be connected with the cloud team directly. There are different other area where cloud is being used. Those team would be sort of aligned with him or her for her to grow her career or his career in cloud technology. So this is how actually people are doing, and this is also a good thing about the companies, leading companies, those who are giving opportunities for these freshers to grow themselves. So first of all, gather few knowledge in advance from your student life, so that you are not you are not a total zero on cloud. Just try to understand there are lots of things happening. User group webinars. Try to at least listen to the people. What are the keywords they are using? They are using EC2. What is EC2? Try to find it out. Like information is so available nowadays. Ask anything on ChatGPT. ChatGPT will actually elaborate it for you. So this is how we have grown. We have grown and come a long way in technological, in terms of technology. So it's not you cannot say any longer that I do not know A B C D E F G just because blah blah blah. It's not a no answer anymore. So you have to know, you have to be hungry for knowledge, and always after learning, then you apply for a job. Specifically first, since you don't have any experience, you would go for an intern, learn, and then try to find your way forward. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Apu, for your actually valuable time and some insights about what the students should do. So yeah, I think yeah, we
My
are done
pleasure.
with the yeah.
Yeah, my pleasure. I was actually saying it's my pleasure to always engage in any kind of activity from User Group Bangladesh. And I would request students to join and to to try to connect with each other. I think sometimes it might happen, I might not be available, but there are so many faces and so many people who are available to answer your questions in the user group Facebook group. I think there you would get the best direction and best suggestion from all the experts who are engaged in the community. And Mitul, you are doing a great job. I'm really proud of you. You have been a greatest addition so far in our team. Very young, very energetic. Keep it up. And all the best for today's event. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Apu, for joining. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, it was Tisha Apu actually. We are really glad that Tisha Apu did join, and she is currently the cloud head of, you can call like the Brain Station 23, and she's also leading the AWS User Group Bangladesh. And you can also know, right, that AWS User Group Bangladesh has already arranged an AWS reInvent recap, but for specifically students, we have arranged this recap, and also we have some special guest, one special guest from AWS. So yes, so let's get started, and it is all about the introduction to the AWS Cloud Club program. And let me actually introduce you to Mustafa Saifi, who is our guest today. Yeah, great.
Hello. Hi.
Hello,
Hi, Mitul.
Mustafa. Yeah,
Hello. Hi,
how are
Mitul.
you?
I'm
Yeah.
doing great. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm great too. Thank you so much for joining our session. And yeah, it's really great to have you and get some insight about AWS Cloud Club program. Yeah, you can. I think you can tell something about yourself, and we can get started. Yeah.
Yes, totally. So, hi everyone. I am Mustafa Saifi and I am from AWS. I have been working on the AWS Student Cloud Clubs program. Just for a check, Mitul, is my screen visible? I have shared my screen.
It is visible from my side. If you're ready, I will actually add it to the stream. Yeah.
Yes, please add the people to the stream.
Okay, sure. It has been added to the stream. You can continue right now. Thank you.
Okay. So, I hope the slide is visible. You said right. So, I have come here to talk about cloud clubs, and I'm Mustafa from India. I live in Mumbai, and I am a student advocate at AWS. So, we'll be talking about cloud clubs. So, this is my team. These are the people you would want to follow on Twitter because we are the academic advocacy team, and we focus on things that what academia students want. So, keep these names in mind. Jen Looper, she is the head of academic advocacy. She is our manager. We have Tracy Wang, she's the community manager, and she manages all the communities that we'll be building around cloud clubs. We have Nayang Mon, she is the program manager. She manages the program itself. I am Mustafa, and we have Stephen Howell from Ireland. Both of us are student advocate, academic advocates, and will be working with the cloud clubs. So, what is our academic advocacy team focused on? So, first I'll talk about my team initial phases in the initial slides, and then explain about cloud clubs. So, my team is all about content, community, and events. We try to focus on content. Why content? There is so much content around us. We have content on every technology possible. But what we see is a lack in content which is student focused. Every content is written with a perspective that a developer needs to understand, or it is for the developer audience or someone who's experienced. But we see a shortage in content where which is student focused. So my team will be focusing on bringing that content to students which is student focused. So we'll do that part for you. Then we have community focused, just like this awesome initiative of AWS UG that AWS has, and it has benefited a lot of developers. There are multiple programs: AWS User Group Program, AWS Heroes Program, AWS Community Builder Program. And we have such programs which benefit the experienced veteran developers of the industry. But when they come into a community and they talk in a lingo that is on a bar raiser, which is equivalent to what they have learned and what they work on. But when a student comes there, he is unaware of what is going on. He doesn't know what the presentation is about. Let's say a community day is happening in Bangladesh, and there are 5 speaker sessions happening. All the speaker session will be set on a bar that a developer can understand. But a student sitting over there can absorb hardly 10 to 15% from that session because he has not experienced all the technologies that has been presented. So we want to create that community of students where he can attend events, coming to the events, where the event will be student led and student focused. So these events will be purely for students. What we want is when a student comes to an event, and I'm just creating a scenario. Imagine yourself sitting in an event and the event is started. The absorption rate of that is happening on the event should be 100%. Whatever is being taught by the speaker should be 100% absorbed into your minds. So we want to create such events where the level of understanding is curated around the understanding of the students. That is our focus. So let's go. We'll talk about cloud clubs. What is cloud clubs? It is a student-led, student-driven user group Just like you have AWS UGs, we'll have student AWS cloud clubs for students. And these cloud clubs, they have to be led by captains. So when you see at UGs, because as Tisha explained everything about UGs and how UGs work, why you should take part in UGs, all of that similarly applies to cloud clubs as well, because cloud clubs at the end is a student UG. So these UGs will be student focused and student led. So whatever events that are happening will be purely for students. Now, who can lead a cloud club? To become a cloud to lead a cloud club, and first of all to start a cloud club, you have to become a captain first. So we call it the cloud captain. Once you become a captain, you are eligible to start your own cloud club at your campus. So then the question raises, who can become a captain? A person who is enrolled in a college or a university can become a captain, or on their learning path. For example, some study from open colleges, open universities, some study from community colleges, some are self-taught in learning. So they have to somehow justify when they fill the application. I'll bring the QR code of the application later. So when you fill the application, you have to justify that you are a person who is continuously growing and continuously learning. What we are looking for is learners. So obviously in college and universities you will find plenty of learners, but if you're out of these universities and you actually don't go to a college but still are a learner, then you can apply for cloud clubs. But the focus is college and universities first. Second criteria is that you have to be between the age of 18 and 28. Now, there might be a few questions that I am 17 years old and I am in college right now. But these guidelines have been set with a lot of thought. And if you are below 18, or if you are not into a college or a university, you are maybe a school student or not yet in a college program, then there are other programs for you. AWS has such programs. There is AWS Future Engineer program that you can explore. So if you're below 18, go for that. If you're about 28, if you're a professional and you are very enthusiastic about the student community, the student user groups, because I am, when I graduated, I lost all the access I had with all the student communities I was leading. Because obviously it is a student community. Next student who is in line will lead that community. I have to move on and the next person will take over. But still I was enthusiastic about it. So I contributed in my own ways. On my weekends, I used to go to colleges. Similarly, AWS has a program called Community Builder Program. So if you're about 28 or if you're a professional and you still want to contribute to cloud clubs, I would encourage you to go ahead and apply for Community Builder and then help the cloud clubs. Help the captain to make their event successful. That's how you can show your passion towards community and students. We are looking for individuals who are interested in peer-to-peer learning. So maybe I assume that a lot of people already know what peer-to-peer learning is. But I would like to reiterate what peer-to-peer learning is. It's you teaching your peers. So there is no difference. You can teach your seniors as well. You are a second year student, you know technology, maybe you can host an event and maybe third year and fourth year students are attending it. It's peer-to-peer. Everyone is your peer. So because it is peer-to-peer, that means that the speaker, the organizer will understand what the difficulty level of the event should be. So we are looking for people who are interested in creating such peer-to-peer opportunities, learning experiences for their local student community that they have in their colleges. Next, we are looking for people who are ready to grow or curious about scaling up. So if you're ready to grow, if you don't think that, if you think that you already know a lot, then there is no space to grow. But if you think that there's so much to learn, so much to know, then that is what we are looking for. You're curious to grow and learn. And if you're looking for perks and benefits, now when someone talks about perks and benefits, the first thing that comes into your mind is swags. Yes, swags is gonna be there. But my team is a collection of 5 people who have been collected from very different environments and backgrounds and technological perspective. And we agree on one part, that perks and benefits should be in the form of guidance, not materialistic benefits. I know it would sound outrageous that I won't get my t-shirt, I won't get my cup, where is my bag? You will get it, but that should not be the focus. Your focus would be, I believe that swag should be career swags, not material swags. So we are trying to create opportunities for career swags. We will talk about more about career swags in the next slides. And also people who are looking to build a network. Now, Why do people go to community events? Why do people want to become parts of user groups? The biggest reason is network. They want to build a network so that whenever they need some help, they are making something and they need some help in some technology, they can reach out to them. They want to create an event, they want to host an event, they can reach out to people. They want a new job, reach out to people. You want a referral, you have your network. So that's what you're looking for. Your peers that are in your class, maybe in some other college, they have attended your event, and you have created a huge network. We will be having so many cloud clubs across 10 countries. For now, we are launching it in 10 countries. So you will be having a huge network, and it will increase. With this network, they will also graduate, they will get into companies, and that network can help you grow. So if you're looking for career opportunities, this is the place for you. Moving on. So again, if you have any questions, it's up to you. You can stop me and ask me a question, or we can do after the presentation as well. So this is a chart explaining how is the way to the cloud club. What are you supposed to do? So once you become a captain, you have to register for the club. And when you have registered for the clubs, you will receive your first swag. And we want our first swag to be AWS credits. These credits will help you build whatever application you want, train on AWS, or study for certification. Well, to study for certification, you require credits so that you can practice. So this is something that we will be giving you the first thing, the AWS credits. Once you host your first event, you will get your swag bag, the swag box, which will contain all the things that is there in the swag. After you host your second event, this is where the career swag starts. We give you the opportunity for a resume review session. Resume reviews is very important. I know this session is not about how a resume review is done, but more about what is Cloud Club. But I would like to emphasize on this that resume review is very important. And why is it important? Because at a time, I used to make resumes that were very colorful and it was complete bizarre. But when I learned how to actually, there are millions of YouTube videos. Trust me, there are too many videos about how to make resumes. But what we are offering to the captains, for the captains, is that they will get a personalized resume review. I mean, an actual professional will help them review their resume based on their preferences and their career perspective. So that is what we are offering as a swag. Next is career coaching. This is common for all the students who are watching. No matter what year of engineering you are, at some point you might have had that big question: where should I move? What is my interest? Even though you are the right person to answer that question, you always have that question: what is my interest? What should I grow my career in? But you don't have that answer. We can help you in that. We can help you decide what career options you have. Maybe I talk a lot about web development, but at the end of the day, I am more knowledgeable about cloud computing, and that is what I learn about. So maybe my career is supposed to be in cloud computing, but a little in web development. So, but people are confused. Then should I go for cloud computing or web development? We help you decide that. I mean, we would help you decide that, but we would guide you that what can be the right option for you, or what is something you can try. There are some people, there are students who don't know anything at all. They think that I don't know anything, I don't know where my career will go. We can give you a starting point. You can learn about solution architect, you can become a web developer, you can become a machine learning developer. So that is what career coaching is about. We will get you AWS skill builder. From the day I joined AWS, since that day, the best thing I have ever seen till now, the best resource is the skill builder. So after using skill builder, everything has become so easy for me, and the resources are abundant on skill builder. And the training is awesome, especially the cloud quest training. Now the first training, the cloud practitioner is free, but the rest of the training is the security training and the container training, serverless training. It's amazing. So this is the AWS skill builder platform that you will get once you become a captain. That will be on your fourth event. The next thing is training the next captain. So once you train the next captain, you will get your AWS certification voucher. Now, this is something that a lot of people discuss, that is certification voucher mandatory or not? Or is certification good for my career? I would say that once you have hosted your first, second, third, and fourth event by yourself with your knowledge of AWS, you are knowledgeable enough to sit for a certification exam, because you have actually had hands-on experience as well as troubleshooting on all the AWS technologies which you hosted events on. So if you are going for a solution architect certification, I would recommend certification only for people who have actually tried and experimented with AWS, not just read documentation about it. So these hosting events would provide you that knowledge, and then you can go ahead and get the certification voucher from us and become a certified person. But for that, you have to train the next captain. So that is how we use milestones to give the swags. And the last thing is the certification of completion. Now, now you get certificate every event that you attend and everywhere you go. That is true. Even a single simple seminar that you attend, you get a certificate for that. But the certificate that we provide is very rare. Reason being, the captain program will be a very selective and exclusive program. It's not a generalized program that everyone can become a captain. The quality of captain we are maintaining is very high. They will be very experienced and very good, technologically strong and community driven people. Now I'm not saying that if you're not experienced we won't select you. What I'm saying is that you can show interest, that maybe you can say, you can be honest about it when you fill the application form, that I'm not a community person but I intend to do this and I intend to do that. We even value passion a lot. Passion is something that is very driven. If you have passion, then we can trust you, but you have to exhibit that passion in your application. The more passion you put into your application, the more chances you have to become a captain. There are students who might have too much knowledge about AWS and a lot of knowledge about technologies, but if you don't show that passion on your application, then we cannot select you as a captain, because what we want is passionate people about cloud clubs and technology and community. So once you transfer the club to the next captain, you will get the certificate of completion. Next, how to become a captain. So first thing is, I would like you to take a screenshot of this or take this QR code. Once you scan this QR code, you will be redirected to our website of Student Hub. On that Student Hub website, you will see a gray box. On this gray box, you can click on apply now and the application will open up. You can fill the application. I would give you two things, two hints and two main guidelines about this. First, don't use any AI tool. Don't use ChatGPT. Don't use any AI tool to frame your answers, because trust me, there are students who want to make it easier by using ChatGPT and paste the answers. But it is very easy for us to pick out the applications who are using ChatGPT or any AI tools. So please don't use any AI tool to complete the application. It is an instant rejection. Please don't hamper your future applications as well by using an AI tool. And second is, be very genuine with your intentions. If you are passionate about community and if you don't have experience, it's okay. Just come ahead and say, I don't have experience, but this is what I intend to do. This is what I achieved to do. I have seen XYZ person do this. I want to be the same person. I want to become a community person or a technology person or a certified person like that. And for that, I want to become a captain. Why do you want to become a captain? That intention should be clear. So that's how you will fill this form. If you fill it like that, trust me, get selected. But if you don't get selected, don't be disappointed. Think about all the answers that you gave. Work on that answers. Trust me, we are going to provide you opportunities a lot of times. So not just that you got rejected, now you can never become a captain. You can become a captain soon. How soon? I might not be able to tell it right now, but don't worry about it. Don't give up. Think about this. You got rejected from the application. Take 3 months. Take 3 months to learn about why did you not get selected. Contact students who got selected. Ask them. Learn from their experiences. What did they do that made them get selected as a captain? And try to replicate that. Maybe someone got selected because they have a lot of community events. I did around 80 community events before becoming a developer. So ask them, what is something that they did that made them get selected as a captain? Find out their superpower. So yes, go ahead and apply. Next, what are the other ways that we can support you? One thing that we are going to support is the student symposia, a day of skilling. In this symposia, we will try to get you AWS employees, AWS community builders, AWS heroes, and user groups to help you get this session onboarded. So student symposia, it is up to the captain again. If they want all the speakers to be captains, if they want all the speakers to be students, or if they want involvement from professionals, they want community builders and heroes to come and talk about AWS or technology, they can do that as well. So that is what Symposia is about. It's a day completely of scaling up. Next is workshops. We will be providing you templates, we will be providing you guidance on how to host workshops on your campus. It's not just about hosting on your campus, but as well as for your own upskilling. We will be creating something called Learner's Library, which will have a collection of workshops and seminars and courses, which is primarily focused for the student on the student audience. Career coaching, I already talked about it, the mock interviews and the resume reviews. You will also have a dedicated Slack room for captains. So this room is very important because these rooms are your platforms to make friends for life and network for your career. So these Slack rooms will help you in that. You will have regularly all hands where we will take feedback and your suggestions on how we can move forward, how we can help you. We can get you specialized training opportunities. So sometimes maybe out of 100 captains, for an example, out of 100 captains, maybe 20 captains want to learn about machine learning. They can come to us and they can tell us that we want some session on machine learning. We can talk to developer advocates, we can talk to machine learning developers, and we can ask them to provide you that guidance or that training that you want. Then there will be something called Cloud Club Camps. This is something that is coming and it will be launched soon. So it's a surprise. So I cannot say completely the whole depth of this Cloud Club Camps, but it's coming. And then there will be cross club collabs. That is something that I used to look forward when I was in college. You have a club in college, there's another club in another college, and you want to make an event where you get maximum participation from each other's colleges. That is how you can cross club collab, and then have collaboration between these two clubs. So we are almost to the concluding part. You have to watch this space. The QR code is there and the link is also there. You have to stay tuned to this web page. This page will guide you and it will always be updated with events. For example, for students in Singapore, we are coming to Singapore. Our whole team is coming to Singapore. So we are doing a lot of events over there. So if any student from Singapore is watching, then you can go to this website and learn about the events that we are going to host in Singapore. So stay tuned to this website. So yes, that's all about Cloud Clubs, myself and my team. So I'm open to questions. Mitul, I think you're on mute.
Oh, sorry for that. Okay, thank you so much for the insights. I was really amazed to know about the steps you are going to take. Okay, so let's start with some Q&A, right? Okay, so first of all, yeah. So here she mentioned I don't have any certifications yet, but I'm eager to learn. Should I apply for the program, right? Because yeah, can you mention something about it?
Yes. So if I were you in your place, what would I do? So what would I do is target the easiest certification, cloud practitioner certification. Okay. And then you can go ahead and show your interest that I am preparing for cloud practitioner. I have XYZ knowledge about cloud. This is what I intend to learn. I plan to get certified in 1 month or something. Show your intentions that you are serious about. I know that you don't have certification right now, but that doesn't mean you will never have a certification, right? You have some deadlines in mind, you have some timelines in mind. So you can go ahead and show your interest that I plan to do this, I plan to do that, and this is how I will do as I become. Certification is not mandatory. It is not a bar we have set that because you are certified we will select you. No, that's not how it's going to happen. There are people who are certified, there are 6x certified, 7x certified, but they won't be idle captains. Idle captain can show the passion in their application. So yes, I would encourage you, don't worry about certification, just go ahead and apply.
Okay, so up to the next one. So when will the results go out for this program? Someone wanted to know about it.
This is a very interesting question, and it's a question that really needs a good answer. Reason being, because every time a program is launched, any program, it has a deadline. So we have a deadline of applications, but we don't have a deadline of results because we want to be very thorough with each applications. If we give a timeline that we'll be giving the results out on uh, 18th of some month, okay, or 19th or 20th of some month, then we set a deadline on ourselves to rush the applications. This is not something we want to do. We want to be very thorough with applications so that we don't miss out on potential candidates. As I said, this is going to be a very exclusive program, and to maintain that exclusivity, we need to make sure that we have the best captains, and for that we have to go through all the applications thoroughly, no matter how much time it takes. But we'll go through all of them. It won't be some AI doing your filtering and all. Nothing. I personally and my team, everyone that is involved, are going to read each and every answer that you write. We don't want any AI involvement. As I said, if you fill the application, if there is AI involvement, we will know because we are humans. We can immediately pick out that this is AI written. So yeah, there's that. No dates.
So it is like what type of training a captain gets actually. Yeah.
So there are a lot of resources that are that usually is not accessible for students. For example, we have Educate, AWS Educate, which is completely freely available for all the students. So you can go ahead and learn from there. But we have Skill Builder. Only some modules are freely available. A lot of modules are subscription based models. So if you become a captain, you get all of the training material accessible. It's there are students who can learn from documentation, but there are students who can only learn from interactions. These videos will be interactive and you can learn from there. You will have CloudQuest for that. CloudQuest is amazing. So you won't know how amazing CloudQuest is unless you do it. And maybe you might do the cloud practitioner. Well and good, because that is free. But just imagine that you have access to machine learning path as well, serverless path as well. These are the places where people want to build career. People want to become a serverless engineer. People want to become an ML developer. And if you have access to this, you can learn a lot. And again, to add, if you become a captain, you can request us that I want to learn something. I told you, right, this is a student driven, student led program. You ask us that I want to learn this, and we will try our best to arrange that for you. Thank you for your question. Yeah, next.
Great, that was a great question. Okay, so right now I have no proper solution or knowledge, I think same. And about something, yeah, I think that has been answered, right? About the certification related. Okay, great. Okay, so here is an interesting question. Like, what do you mean by relevant experience? Because I think I saw something like relevant experience. What do you have any relevant experience or not? Is it community work or club activities or what else, right? Yeah.
Okay, I will give you an example. You got selected as some president of some club. That is a relevant experience. You got nominated for some award which exhibits that you are passionate about technology. That is a relevant experience. You did some certification. That is relevant experience. You attended 10 community events that were conducted by UG Bangladesh. That is relevant experience. Everything that involves technology and community is relevant experience for us. We are not bifurcating. We are not biased about this. That someone is very technologically strong and very poor in community, no, you cannot become a captain. No, we don't. We are not biased about that. We will intake everything that you have. Just be honest about it. So whatever your experience is, I'm very sure that you might have something to say. You might have a lot of things to say to us. That I have done this. The questions are framed in such a way. When you read the questions on the portal, they are framed in such a way that you can come out and express yourself completely. So yes, that's the answer. Relevant experience is every experience that you have.
So every experience related to kind of maybe community work, technology, AWS or something like that, right?
Yes.
Great. Okay, so another question is like, what are the expectations for me as a lead of AWS Cloud Club in terms of commitment, communication, and deliveries?
That is a very accurate question. Thank you. So yes, the biggest commitment is that you have to be community obsessed. You have become a captain to lead. You are a leader. We have identified you as a leader. So a leader's job is to lead. So your job is to lead your peers, your students, your college, your community to upscaling. You have to make sure that they upscale. Now doing 10 events and no quality in those events is not something we're looking for. We'll be very watching you very closely, and the cycles are also very close. We are going to keep a watch on every event that you do. So the quality of event has to be very good. It can be one event in a month, even if it is not 10 events in a month, but that one event has to be very quality event. You can take 29 days to plan and 1 day to execute, or you can just go ahead and do one event in every 5 days, but the quality has to be maintained. So that is one expectation, the quality expectation, that we have selected you because you were the best of the best quality. So your events and your things that you do should be up to that level. Commitment, again, your choice, your time frame, your choice. Communication is so I don't know what you mean by communication, but I can assume something, that we will be doing all hands calls, and it is up to you to attend the all hands call, because those all hands call is the only opportunity you will get to talk to our team and everyone on the our team, academic advocacy team. So yes, that is communication. It is also expected that you collaborate with other captains as well. That is highly encouraged. We are not looking for lone wolves, we are looking for people who run in a pack. So you captains, the captains who are getting selected, they can run in a pack. You can always achieve much greater things if you work together. Do you think that we had a guest on this call, Tisha? Do you think that if she decides that I will be the only one doing the event, then do you think that she will be okay with it? She herself won't be okay with it, because it's difficult to manage an event, and that's why she invites the whole UG to help her out. That's how we expect the captains to be. The captains should seek help from the students, from other captains, from community builders, from UG leads, from everyone to do that. So yes, we want that communication skill in you to communicate with all these people and do it. Well, about deliverables, I just showed a roadmap that you have to host events and do events. So yeah, there's that. Your upskilling is also important, because if you are not upskilled, then the quality of your events won't go up. So yeah, next. Thank you.
Yeah, true. Yeah, great. So another interesting question: how many people from an university can be captain at the same time? Yeah, interesting, I think.
Yes. So that is something that we will decide once we have all the applications in hand. It can be one captain per university, but if we think that the university is like it's we have advocates and we have connections in all the universities mostly. So we know that if a university needs more captains, then more captains will be there. Maybe a university has only 60 students in computer science branch, or in IT branch, or in electrical, or a combined audience of only 200. Then I think one captain is enough. That is again yet to decide. But if we think that the university is too big, I know a college where only in computer science branch there are 700 people. So if the student audience is too big, then we'll have more captains. And I would highly encourage that if there are more captains from a single college, then they can work together, they can cluster up, they can build a gang and execute the task. So let's say if there is a university, let's say my university, SVKM University, we have 1000 students. And if there are four captains, then imagine the power of that event. There are four people who will be in charge. Maybe one can take care of supplies, one can take care of technical content, speakers, everything. So yes, if you are applying for becoming a captain, I would say go ahead and encourage your friends to become captains, so that you can work together towards bigger events.
Great. Okay, so I think another one, like kind of there was mentioned like what technical skills or language you are skilled or with or something like that. So what do you mention about it? Yeah.
There is no language requirement. So again, language can be ambiguous. It can be programming languages. So no, any programming language, any language, even if it is HTML, CSS, we are okay with it. You should just be technologically enthusiastic. Okay, so that is one part, that language. And again, the other language barrier, if you're talking about regional languages, English, Hindi, Bengali, or any other language, but don't worry about it. It can be your own language. You can conduct your events in your language. So if I am from Maharashtra, I can conduct an event in Marathi. I can speak Gujarati, I can conduct an event in Gujarati. So again, I believe the language in Bangladesh is Bengali, right? Or
Yes,
am I?
obviously.
Yes. So if you can conduct, I would encourage if you conduct events in Bengali, so that it is more accessible. We want it to be very accessible. So yes, there's that.
Yeah. Okay. So the another question: is there any option to review and edit the answers field? Yeah.
No. So once you fill the application, that's why be very mindful when this application is your first impression for us. So I would highly encourage you to be very precise when you fill this application. But don't worry if there are spelling mistakes and grammatical mistakes. We don't care about that. I told you the first thing we are looking for is passion. We are not looking for your grammar mistakes or your English language proficiency, or how good you make sentences. That is not what we are looking for. We are not looking for your communication skills. We are looking for your passion for technology and community. So yes, go ahead and fill as you want. I don't see why would you need to edit it, because if you think that it is for grammar, then don't worry about grammar. you are given a free pass. I'm giving you a free pass to go ahead and make grammatical mistakes.
Great. So I think this one you mentioned about it, right? What are the career benefits students get from cloud clubs for their job profile?
Yes, it's a very good question. I This is one question that I was always looking. I think this question was asked by. It's difficult.
Kainat Raisa Hussain.
Kainat Raisa Hussain.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for this question. This is a question I had every day in my college 4 years life. In every program I was, how will I get it? How will it help in my job life? I got, I was part of a program, and I got my first job at Microsoft, and that was because of I was part of a community. I think Mitul is also an MLSA. Are you?
Yeah, I'm a gold MLS too. Yeah.
Okay, so yes, if you know, I was the first gold MLSA. Was me. So
Oh, awesome, awesome.
yeah, so
Yeah,
I was
great.
part of the community, and don't expect the community to give you everything. Instead, make mechanisms that extract everything from the community, and you can take everything for your benefits, like how I did. I started creating network, I contacted people, I used to engage in people, create meaningful connections, and these people will help you land your first job. I promise you that, because I have been through that. I can, if I cannot tell the whole instance on this call, but if you reach out to me, I can actually tell you how I got my first job, and it is very awesome. It's all about network and community. It's all about the work that I did as a community person, as a technical person, and everything. So yes, and once you're part of the community, you will start talk. I'll talk about AWS. I will not go ahead and talk about other companies. But once you become part of AWS, maybe it's through Cloud Captain program, you can start talking to people who are in AWS. Maybe they can provide you a referral in future. I'm not promising anything. I'm just saying, if you make meaningful connections, they can help you. Let alone that, let's say you become a Cloud Captain and you created an event, and AWS heroes were capable. Your event was awesome enough so that AWS heroes came to your event. Then these AWS heroes can get you a job. That's how they can help you. So these networks will get you the job. And we also have a graduation program that after you complete your captain program, we have a program that is only accessible to captains, which I cannot discuss right now. It is only privileged to the captains. Once you complete that program, you will be graduated to another program. And that program will provide you the exact skills and opportunity and a career path on how to exactly land a job. But that is just for captains. Once you become a captain, you will know, and you'll only know once you graduate. That's the power of that program.
I think too much excitement, right? I'm just getting goosebumps. Okay, so again, like, is there a timeline within which the captain has to host with his or her event? I think, yeah.
I think I will answer this in an ambiguous way, so that not to frighten you up a lot, but do it as soon as possible, because we have selected you as a leader, right? And a leader is always ready to do events and lead people and lead anything that we ask. So yes, I would say that don't become a captain and then do an event after 6 months. I would say just do an event in the first 2 months. That would be an ideal timeline. We have not set a guideline about that, but if you don't do events, then there would be no activity from your side. I mean, from the captain side. So yes, do an event as soon as possible. It's okay, even if it is virtual. If all we want to see is your passion to do it. So yeah, that's it.
Okay, so I think, like, I have gathered experience working as a volunteer executive in institutional clubs or organizations. I have worked to arrange events and management, also some documentation. Will it be helpful in these two? Yeah,
I'm
I
just reading the
think,
question.
yeah. Didn't you? Couldn't you couldn't hear the question?
I can see the question. I'm
Oh,
just reading it again.
okay,
Also,
okay, sure, sure.
yes, so you have to be specific, and when you write the application, when you fill the application, you have to be specific about it, that what is the volunteering that you have done. So for example, this is what I used to do. This is one experience that I'm sharing. When I was in college, I I did not just focus on college students. I also used to go to schools and tell students how they can become anything they want. They can become a mechanical engineer, they can become a doctor, lawyer. but still have computer science in their life, because computer science is the technology that we see. Every development that we see comes from the modernization that we see. If you imbue computer science, artificial intelligence, machine learning in it, you can make it diamond. So that's what I go ahead and do it in schools. I know it won't be significant to a lot of people, but I feel that if I was in school and someone came and told me that computer science is everything in the future, then I would be very grateful. So I say that any event, any volunteering that you have done, go ahead and explain it in that way.
Yeah. So, like, I had an internship in the management sector. Does the ad verify as experience for being a captain?
So I would say that if you don't have experience which is relevant for a captain, you can express interest that maybe you have an experience in the you have experience in the management sector, but you intend to do events, you intend to do workshops, hackathons, seminars, workshops, everything. You want to collaborate with UG leads and anything that you have in mind. You can show your intentions, your future will of what you want to do. If that passion and intention is strong enough, then you can get a chance, because obviously nothing can beat experience, that is for sure. That no matter how much knowledge one has, how many certification you have, I believe, this is my personal opinion, that nothing can beat experience, but your intentions and your passion can maybe get you a chance. So that is something you can exhibit, that I am passionate about it and this is what I will do about it.
Yeah, great. I think I think like how to encourage more students to get involved in cloud clubs. Like you mentioned, like I think like you told us to share our friends to mention like also fill up the form, right? So what can they
Yes.
do? I think she has asked this question for that reason.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you for this question. Well, first thing I would say is that encourage your peers to become captains. So, for example, if this question was asked by Kainath, so maybe Kainath and uh, Z are friends, okay? So, Kainath and Z are friends, for example, and maybe Kainath applied and Z also applied. If Kainath did not get selected, maybe Z got selected. Doesn't matter if you did not become a captain, you can become a captain in the next rounds. We are not completely terminating the applications on 19th. Okay, then 19th is the last date, so there is another, we will again open the applications later, and when that opens up you can try again later. So don't worry about that. So you can, first of all, this is before the application. Next, if you become a captain, you can conduct quality events and quality seminars. That it can, I always start with 10 students. If you're doing an event, maybe do a small event, make it very quality, 10, then graduate to 30, do an event for 30 people, and then do it for 60 people. Maybe you can expand as you like. Okay, but that's how you encourage. You start from small quality, small quantity, but good quality, and then move ahead.
So another question, like I am from medical background, so can I be a captain?
Well, I would say that if you can find this intersection between engineering and medical, because I have seen doctors who can do engineering stuff in my own city. So if you're passionate about that, if you have the time to do these events, because I can definitely vouch for this, that medical students are very busy in their medical studies. So if you have the time and you have the commitment and passion to do these events, then definitely you can go ahead and fill this form. I would encourage that.
Yeah, I think inclusivity and will be there, right? We
Yeah.
don't actually see so many people or people from medical background in our community right now.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, I think there are a lot of questions I did filter out, and I didn't ask a lot of questions, but there are some questions from my end as well, because I was confused also, and throughout this Q&A, I also got a lot of answers. So yeah, so the question is like I saw that you have to train your another kind of cloud captain, right? So will this program be for only 1 year, right? One person for 1 year, right?
Yes.
This is what I am assuming, right? Okay,
So
so yeah,
I will answer that question in a. Is the question complete?
no, yeah, I think it's completed. Just you can mention.
Okay. It is for 1 year, but there is a catch. The catch is that if you perform exceptionally well, we can increase your tenure. You can become captain for another year. I'll tell you why we have limited it to 12 months. Because we want to give the opportunity to other captains, other students in line as well. So that's why we want to create that space. But if you have the potential to become a captain and you worked really well in the 12 months, then you would be very good guides for the next captains to come. So we would let you renew your captainship for the next 10 year. So rest assured, you can become a captain based on the work that you have done in the past 12 months as the captain before. So yeah.
Yes, yeah. I think the doubt is clear, right? Okay, so the program, the summer, if we summarize, the program is almost for 12 months, right? And the deadline for the program is 19th of February. And yeah, we really don't know when we'll get the results, right? It might take 1 to 2 months or something like that. But yes, I'm really amazed to see like the uh, designing of this actually program, like how the team has designed, how they are going to get the perks. Because I had a lot of questions. People were actually applying for, when they saw about the certification voucher, they applied. There are many people, they just want the certification voucher and they wanted to apply for that, and they were mentioning me like how to do that. So I was confused, like students, they want just certification voucher but not community work or something like that. Will they be accepted? Or I had doubts on that. But the designing of this program actually, yeah, it is really awesome. Like at the end, when you have done really awesome work, you will get that voucher, right? So this is awesome, right? Yeah, there are a lot of questions. There were a lot of questions, and I think you have answered all of those properly. And it was awesome actually having a session with you. Yeah. By the way, I've also applied for the program. Am I eligible?
Are you a
Yeah.
student?
Yes, I'm a student. I'm a secondary student, so I have time.
Okay, then that's amazing. Then have you completed your application?
Yeah, I have completed my application, so that's why I had the same question. Like, yeah, I did try my best to apply, and I was thinking like maybe I should have done or give much more effort or something like that. So the question which was like, can you edit or something? So you also mentioned like you want to see the first impression, right? So I
Yes.
was thinking, okay, so no, I might not be able to actually reapply again, right? So just a question, like in case one apply twice, right? What happens then?
We have not set any criteria to reject you if you apply twice.
Okay, so yeah, I've got some actually opportunity, right? Okay, great, great, awesome. Okay, so it was really awesome to have you, and I think there are no questions remaining right now. So thank you so much for actually joining our session, and it was really pleasure to have you in our session. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here, Mitul. And see you in some future events as well.
Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, bye then.
Bye. Take care.
Same here. Okay, so it was really awesome how Mustafa actually mentioned about the AWS Cloud Club program, and you guys got to know a lot about AWS Cloud Club and so on and so forth. Yeah. Okay. So now what we are going to do is we are going to continue our AWS reInvent recap. And before that, I saw a lot of questions, right, regarding the reInvent questions, right? So I saw like, yeah. So there were like questions like how this is going to benefit. Or what are the updates and how it is going to benefit us as a student or something. I think those questions are going to be we are going to answer those uh, when we actually complete our session, right? Yeah, let us start our session just within 1 2 minutes. Yeah. Okay, so let's start about our AWS reInvent recap. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so thank you so much, guys, for attending AWS reInvent recap. Okay, so yeah, um, so let's get started with AWS reInvent recap. So what is this reInvent or recap or something like that? Okay, so annually, if you actually read the description, so you can see uh, what is this like annually. What happens is AWS and other tech giants, they do actually announce their what can you say, the big things, the updates they have done, right? So AWS has a actually program that is that generally happens on December or November, something like that, and it is called AWS reInvent. Okay, so AWS reInvent. So this session is like recapping that reInvent or updates. Okay, so from the AWS user group, already we have a reInvent recap that was physically done. But today we are having our AWS reInvent recap, which had we started from almost 7 p.m. from Bangladesh time. And first of all, Tishapur did talk about AWS user group, and also yeah, also here you can see Mustafa Saifi. You can connect with him actually. Let me share his LinkedIn profile here on our chat so that you guys can connect and have chat with him. Let me do that for you guys, and after that we are going to continue our yeah session. Okay. Great. So I have actually shared that link, right? So you guys can easily connect with Mustafa, our guest from AWS, and you guys can actually get some insights, because I think it was really awesome to get the insights from AWS Cloud Club. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let me share another other ones too. You can let me share the Twitter and LinkedIn along with that. Okay. So I think that would be helpful. You guys can easily go here, go check the chat, and you guys can easily connect with Mustafa. Okay, great. Now let's continue our recap. So first of all, what was the recap? So it was like all of the updates we had in reInvent, and it is we are going to recap it. Okay, so first of all, it has almost 2,000 plus technical sessions, and generally for the it was all about 2022. Yeah. So before starting it, the good questions, people who will ask some good questions, relevant questions, will get some AWS goodies. Okay, so you guys can stay tuned, and we will just we will be having this session for almost 30 minutes, and after that we have some Q&A, and yeah, I will choose the actually winners. Okay, so let's start. So for the AWS reInvent, we had for the 2022, it has almost 2,000 plus technical session and almost 50,000 plus attendees and 100 plus announcements. Okay, so the agenda is like there are going to be builder experience, serverless, DevOps, AI, ML, data analytics, compute, networking, security and compliance, and others. So it is going to be really fast. So that as a student, I am a student too. So as a student, I'm going to actually share with you like how what are the updates and how you are going to get the most use of it. Okay, so the builder experience is like AWS application composer. So if you have the AWS management console, you can actually search for that. AWS application console is so it is like help you visually compose and configure AWS service. And so another important thing is that what Mustafa mentioned is like most of the things right now I'm going to actually talk to you, you might not even heard of it, right? So the AWS Cloud Club program is there to make you familiar with AWS and the professional things, right? Even if we arrange the AWS community day or something like that, what happens is that most of the people attending the session don't even didn't even hear that technology or the service ever. So I think that might happen to you also here, like AWS application composer. There are a lot of things, a lot of slides here, so you might not even know about it. But the AWS Cloud Club program that Mustafa actually mentioned, that will be really awesome for you if you surely apply for that, and you will gradually know about it. Okay, so they're like AWS application composer, and also you can see the application composer. This is what the preview is, right? And the user cases, the design and build new serverless applications. AWS application composer removes the learning curve of composing serverless and so on. Okay, so also Amazon code catalyst. Okay, so you can get updates, you can see the preview of it, and if you have the AWS management console, feel free to check it out. And Amazon code whisperer. So I think this is where I will take some time, because the thing is that You might have heard about like some chat GPT, right? Or you might have heard about GitHub Copilot or something like that, right? So AWS also have something, right? So it is Amazon Code Whisperer. So using the email, you can see the generates code, right? So recommendations based on your code and comments in your IDE. So it basically generates code for you. If you're just if you have actually added it, and with your, you can use the Visual Studio Code or something like that. If you are using the AWS Amazon Code Whisperer, then you can see after a certain line of codes, you are going to see there are some code recommendations. So you can use it. Also, it is almost like the GitHub Copilot, right? So it is using the emails, and you can see available in popular IDs like Visual Studio Code, JetBrains, AWS Cloud9, AWS Lambda. So we will know about AWS Lambda from serverless. Yeah, here it is. It is about the serverless, and it is AWS Lambda. So serverless, if you talk about AWS Lambda, it is like basically working with some sort of functions. So you can see it is like we recently it was launched in 2014, and it has like 100 plus new features and 1 million plus action custom, and 10 trillion plus requests per month. Can you just imagine about it, like 10 trillion plus per request? So AWS Lambda is really very famous among anyone. If they are using the AWS serverless service or something like that, so feel free to check that out. So AWS Lambda Snapchat start, so has like reduces Java actually cold starts by 90%. So if you have started to know about the cold starts, you can actually Google it down, and you can know about the cold start, what it is, actually the time it takes before doing it. And it has been reduced the Java cold start by 90% almost. This is the new update, and there is no extra charge available for Core to Java 11 runtime. So there are a lot of stuffs. Feel free to check that out. And AWS Lambda Snap Start life cycle, so this is going to be a life cycle of it. You might not get familiar with it, but as a student perspective, I'm going to just fasten the process of sharing the slides, and I'm going to share what basically I'm also using these services. So I'm going to share what I think students are much more familiar with, and they will get the most benefit of it. Okay, so Amazon Event Bridge pipes, and yeah, if you're using the CI/CD pipes or something like that, maybe you have heard about the pipe, right? But you might not be familiar with it. There, like, removes the need to write undifferentiated glue code, and simplest pipe consists of a source and a target. So it would have been great. So if I would show you all of that manually, but I will show that in after the session or something like that. After 30 minutes, I will go to the AWS Management Console and try to show some of the updates here. Okay. Yeah, something. Okay, so let's share something about DevOps, because as Tishapu mentioned, our AWS user group lead, she mentioned like the DevOps. There are a lot of DevOps jobs that has been offered by the local Bangladeshi companies, right? So let's hear some updates about DevOps. So Amazon ECS Service Connect. So you can see what happens is just focus on application code, while ECS Service Connect handles service to service communication, service discovery, and observability, and provides easy network setup and seamless service communication deployed across multiple ECS clusters and VPCs. Okay, so and also Amazon RDS blue green deployment. So here you can see blue green, right? So you might refer to it, but there are lots of deployment actually. You can go to Google and search about there are some canary deployment, and then a lot of deployment, the type of deployment. So depending on this, there is like blue green deployment, but there is nothing to fear today. What I am telling you, or the topic I'm mentioning, you don't need to fear. Just use join the AWS Cloud Club program, or join AWS Community Builder program, or AWS Hero, or join the AWS user group. You will start to use the AWS, and you will gradually know about these services. Okay, what you are generally expected to learn after graduation. Okay, yeah, also AWS Elastic disaster recovery, automated failback. So yeah, it's really helpful for when the disaster happens. Also AWS backup new features. So for the backup for Amazon S3 public preview in US West, so that means that only publicly you can see it from when using the US West region. There are lots of region, but they cannot actually get access to it. Also suffer for VMware workloads and protect and restore your cloud formation stacks. So I think you might not get used to all of these, but let's continue. Amazon CloudWatch Internet Monitor. Okay, so this is also a very famous topic like the CloudWatch. Okay, so you can monitor literally all of the stuff you're doing, provides visibility into low or how an internet issue might impact the performance and availability of your applications. Actually, Internet Monitor. So basically, in the CloudWatch, you can see what are the logs and something like that. What are the happening in your actually account or something. So right now that has been introduced is like Amazon CloudWatch Internet Monitor. So basically it will like it will show you how it might impact the performance and availability of your application. Okay, great. Yeah, let's move on to the next slide. Okay, so Amazon CloudWatch logs data protection. So I mentioned about the Amazon CloudWatch that you can see the logs, right? So it was like logs data protection has been enabled right now. So your logs data will be also protected, right? So what are these logs? Let me tell you if you're never familiar with it. So logs mean like if you're working with Git, something, assuming you also have worked with Git. So when you go actually go from one step to another step, something that is generated a log, right? So in cloud there is also the logs, right? So what are you doing, what are the steps you're doing, what service you have created, all of the things are there, because in case there is an hack, or in case you want to go back to another thing or something, you want to see what happened in this account, you will surely get to know about it. Also, uh, in case assume you have just $100 credit. Okay, now what happens is that uh, uh, maybe what happened, like you have started a service and you forgot, right? So after 1 to 2 hours you just got a notification or something like that, that you have to pay almost $200 more, right? So because you became amazed, right? What happened, what did I did, right? But you forgot to actually stop that service, right? So if you go to the logs, you can see what happened basically, or mistakenly or now you went to the service and you stopped it, but now you want to see the logs, like what happened, how much time did we actually started the service, that we all of that will be stored in the logs. Okay. Okay, let me take it in another one. Multi-access point, failover controls. I think you Amazon route trace, arc journal shift, and AML. Let's start with the AML. Okay, so next generation SageMaker notebook. So there's something. This is going to be something awesome. SageMaker is really used by a lot of AI/ML services, and it's a really shared spaces that give a data science and ML teams a workspace for real-time collaboration. SageMaker, you can just go to the AI or AWS SageMaker. You can search about it. You will get to know a lot of it. Okay, so automated notebook as a job that can run in a production environment. So you can see here Amazon SageMaker. So Studio Notebook, and you can see just create a no job and on demand and schedule. You can do both, and train model, the training is done, and then Amazon SageMaker endpoint. Okay, so also it's about Amazon SageMaker, like acquire geospatial data science, data with just a few clicks, and also easily separate geospatial data with built-in operations and transformation. Let's go to the another one, Amazon SageMaker. So there are a lot of updates from Amazon SageMaker. And let's go to another one. Yeah, there are lots of updates of SageMaker. Let's load. Okay, so Amazon to extract, analyze lending actually API. Okay, so many people are familiar with API. So and there were some actual updates about the API, like analyze and classify documents contained in mortgage loan applications, greater workflow automation to accelerate automation efforts, reduce human error so that users can focus on higher value tasks. Yeah, also Amazon comprehend for IDP. Let's go to another one, Amazon Rendra. We have something like tabular search for HTML documents. So search more intuitively and effectively through tables embedded in HTML pages. And you can see, let's get AI service cards. Yeah, there's something new. You can see AWS AI service cards to provide information on AWS AI service as responsible AI and provides documentation of expected use cases, limitation, designs, guidelines for responsible AI. So you can just surely search for the AWS AI services and service cards, and let's get to the data and analytics part. So there is something like Amazon Data Zone. So here what happened is like it is going to coming soon. It is not been actually preview mode, or it is not been shared right now, but it is like link data producers and consumers break data silos and enhance data discovery. There are a lot of updates, but it has not been actually launched. Okay, so also in the preview you can see AWS clean room, so more security match, analyze, and collaborate with database to gain insights and optimize campaign performance, and use flexible, easy to configure analysis rules to tailor. So it's in the preview mode. So create clean rooms in minutes. It will take minutes to create one. Open search serverless. It's also in the preview mode. And also, if you talk about AWS Glue updates, so maybe you saw something like AWS Glue code, right? So it is also here, right? So AWS Glue 4.0, there is Glue data quality, Glue of Ray, and so on. Okay, so Amazon Thena Force Apache Spark. So here you have to know about Apache Spark if you know about it, or Amazon Redshift. Some all of these are related to data and analytics. Okay, also Amazon Aurora Zero ETL integration related to data analytics, AWS Lake Formation, and you can see Redshift previously we mentioned, and AWS Lake Formation is used AWS Redshift. So all of these are data related, data driven. And quick site updates, there are some updates like paginated reports and automated data preparation, quick sites API, and some others. Okay, so Amazon RDS optimized read and write. So RDS, I think many people are actually familiar with RDS services. So is also there's like optimized reads and optimized writes. These are the updates. And also OpenSearch has been updated. Amazon Document DB Elastic cluster. So here, okay, so flexibility scales to store petabytes of data and handle millions of read to write requests per second. I think maybe you have seen like there were like 10 trillion requests come here, right, for the Lambda. So you can see there are a lot of requests to come, and you have to read and write with those requests. So it has created the flexibility scales to store petabytes of data. So just Google it about the petabytes, how much it stores, right? And yeah, great. Let's start. Trusted language extensions for PostgreSQL, and it was data exchange for lake formation and S3. You can search about it. It's also in the preview mode. So we have almost done. We have also almost completed our 50% of our say actually updates of the slides. Okay, let's then talk about something like compute services. So here it is like AWS Nitro V5, so custom silicon built by an apartment labs and generally available today. Okay, so it's like 2x transistors and faster DRM speed, more PC like bandwidth. Okay, so next generation Nitro system, Nitro B5, you have seen like what are the updates about it. Right now you can see the features of it: 2x transistors and 50% faster DRM speed and so on, 60% higher PPS and so on. Okay, next generation is ET instance C7GN. So this is the instance. If you're not familiar, or if you're, it is also in the preview mode. So sign up for the preview at this link. Okay, so you can just Google it like C7GN preview, and you can go there and sign up for that. Also, the new generation is E3 instance HPC S7G. Okay, Amazon EC2 HPC 6 ID instances has some updates like optimized for high performance computing workloads. The third generation Intel Xeon scalable processor and available now in US regions. Okay, not in others. And Amazon EC2 INF2, and this has also some updates. So these are all related to the compute, right? Compute space or compute power. So these are related to the compute. Amazon EC2 Inf2, so enhanced network performance version of TRN1 instance with AWS Trainium chip for AWS machine learning. So this chip really helps for the machine learning purposes, and also you can see R7IZ. Okay, so there are lots of other chips as well: M6IAN, MCIND, R6IN, and RCIND. Okay, so Amazon EC2 Microsoft Office AMI. So this also includes here Amazon Compute Optimizer external metric support has been introduced, and there are a lot of support as well. Enables more cost optimized proposal in combination with other factors such as CPU, and AWS Nitro includes EKS and K8S support. So if you're familiar with EKS and K8 is also related to the Kubernetes service and something like that. So AWS EC2 for write prevention. So we use the Amazon EBS and Amazon EC2 with instance store and Amazon RDS. Okay, so storage, if you talk about the storage, here we have like a Amazon you see, as an elastic through output, and provides as much as throughput as needed for the application on a pay-as-you-go basis. New lifecycle policy. 1 day can be set in addition to the existing Atho. So that means that you can add a to your existing 7.4 or something like that. You can also add 1 day can be set, right? Performance improvement has like reached 60% delay improvement, and 40% delay improvement has been done to the storage service as well. Okay, so you can see the support in 2023, right? By applying SRD, right? Latency is improved by up to 90%. So it's really great because the latency is really important while working with any cloud service or any simple service as well. Okay, so there are others like Open ZFS updates, and let's get to the networking part. Amazon VPC Lattice, and if you talk about it, has connectivity, consistency across compute services, observability, and traffic control and security as well. So simplifies the way developers connect, secure, and observe communication with the application layer network between services in the preview mode. And Amazon VPC Lattice benefits. So the benefits are like increased developer productivity, enhanced security posture, and optimized compute choice, improved scale and resilience, and reduce day to operations cost. Okay, so again, user cases for Amazon VPC Lattice. There are a lot of user cases for the secure and simple cross VPC connectivity and traffic management and so on. Okay, AWS verified access preview. So it's in the preview mode. AWS verified access. So connect to the trust providers associated with your replication, express access policies, and then go to the users. Benefits of summary. Okay, so the summary is like enhance security posture, improve end user experience, simplify operations, and it was verified access user cases, the lot of cases, and load balancing enhancement. There has been like ALB now supports turning cross zone actually load balancing off, and NLB health check improvements, and you can see specify HTTP response scores and configure consecutive day health check responses. So actually, while checking the load balancing, these are the something that really important. Health checking and load balancing is really important for working with cloud especially. So yeah, great. So networking enhancement, yeah, done. Yeah, ENA Express in 2023, announcing ENA Express a new, you can see it's coming soon. So you have got the update about some service here too. A new product that enables the benefits to scalable reliable diagrams SRD to be applied to general workloads, and users do not need to be aware of SRD and can implement it using normal TCP or UDP communication throughout of up to 5 to 25 Gbps available on a single stream. And it's coming soon, not in the preview mode or something like that. And also I got talking about the security and compliance. Yeah, Amazon verified permissions, it's coming it's really awesome because previously we mentioned about this one, the verified permissions. This was used in one of the services. So you can see externalize and build and integrate and govern, simplify, analyze. So these are the one of the points they are focusing on. And Amazon security lake, you can see the centralized data automatically from cloud, on premises, and custom security sources across regions. Optimize and manage security data for more efficient storage and query performance. Normalize data to an industry standard to easily share and use with multiple analytics tools. Okay, and analyze using your preferred analytics tools while retaining control and ownership of its security data. That's done with almost the end of our session. And AWS doing proactive compliance, and also AWS actually config rules prior to the resource provisioning, and you can see the rules, and it's on the GA. Use the AWS console for APIs to enable rules to run actually proactively. And also you can see the comprehensive control management. So apply management, preventive, detective, and proactive controls to accounts. And you might not know about all of these service lists. It's also in the preview mode, but again, I think the maybe you're familiar with AWS organizations like management account. These are something like for the management, you have to actually divide the accounts, right? So the management account, you can see under that there are like accounts, and also the designed accounts. Yeah, there are some accounts as well. So the admin has all of the access here. Okay, so in organization units with different operational policies, sub administration administrators can be authorized and easier to implement individual policies. And also Amazon as well automated data discovery. So discover and protect your sensitive data at scale, gain cost efficient visibility and sensitive data stored. Reduce triage time with actionable reporting of sensitive data and sensitivity score for each bucket. Then okay, AWS control or lower, and you can see account factory customization has been done like AWS control tower, and additional settings can now be implemented when adding AWS account to the AWS control tower. So you can see just by the logo, something like that, you can know. Sometimes you might not get familiar with watching these logos, but you can see. Previously, only standard settings were available for BPCs and etc. And customization required a combination of customization for control tower, etc. Service catalog products can now be specified when creating an account. So there are lots of updates right now. And yeah, AWS Cloud Trails, Lake AWS config integration. So yeah, Lake can now import configuration items from AWS config. So there are a lot of updates. Just seven, we're just 1 to 2 minutes away from ending the conversation almost. Just keep being with us. And yeah, Amazon, we have some updates regarding the Lambda function as well, right? So you can see quickly discover and access running Lambda function for software vulnerabilities, and consolidate your vulnerability management solution for EC2 Lambda function and ECR container images into the fully managed service and AWS RMS external key store. So for the service, when you are using it locally or actually on cloud, you have to use the keys, and these are really very important. So here you need release very good service and updates. So here you can see the extends existing AWS KMS custom key store features beyond AWS Cloud HSM. And yeah, great. So AWS Guard Duty RDS protection has also come up, and it's also in the preview mode, and other updates about Amazon Omics. So store, query, analyze, and generate insights from genomics and other omics data to improve human health and advanced scientific discoveries. Multi-omic and multimodal analysis and population level scales and fully managed bio informatics computation. So you can see the lot of updates we had. And also here we have updates about the single product and full suite for collaboration capabilities. So we have a new service actually coming up. Here you can see about the multi-device you can use for multi-device enterprise management, administrative control, and IT integration. Also the data retention service supports achieving and data privacy protection. There are a lot of updates here we have come up. Let's see what we have come up list. Last, AWS IoT core updates. So MQTT5 device location and schedule job has been introduced. So AWS IoT core has these updates here, and AWS Snap Space and Weaver. So it has some updates. Supply chain, AWS supply chain, you can see easily connect data across systems, quickly harmonize into a unified view. VML powered insights and risk alerts, accelerate my mitigation with the recommendations, and scale with pay as you go pricing, and AWS marketplace announcement as well. Okay, so there are a lot of updates we had by now, and let's almost we are done with our updates here, right? So right now, what we are mentioning, like the AWS using the 100% renewable energy 2025. They have this goal by 2025, so they're working their best. Water positive by 2030. So yeah, stay in touch and connect with the AWS community. So how can you connect? Just go to the AWS the events for developers. I will share those links like AWS. Just go to AWS developers and events. You can see there are a lot of events generally happens. Okay, so I'm going to share the link here. AWS events for developers. Okay, let me share that video. Okay, so I've shared the link, AWS, the developer event, so you can know what is happening in which community right now. As Mustafa mentioned also, and Tishapu mentioned, like the user group or the cloud club, they are having a lot of events. They will have a lot of events, so feel free to attend those. Okay, so you can go there and attend those. I have shared the link in the YouTube channel actually, and yeah, after that, if you go to the other slide, you can see the AWS developers. You can follow the AWS developers official Twitter handle. Okay, so go to the Twitter and search for actually AWS developers, and you can go, you can follow them. You can really get a lot of updates about the AWS and what is coming up next. Okay, so after that we have the YouTube channel, right? So just go to YouTube and you can search for AWS, and you can certainly also search for the Twitch also, right? So you go to the Twitch and you can search for twitch.tv/AWS, and there like every day I also have subscribed to the channel, and every day what happens at night almost, we do get a lot of updates like AWS is live now. You can attend that, you can ask questions. As Mustafa mentioned, like he has also been a part of the community, and what he did is like he has networked, and he has made the most use of it, and right now you can see he got his first job at Microsoft, and also right now he's at actually AWS, right? They're planning what they can do for the students, and really awesome what they are doing. So yeah, make sure to actually attend events, attend actually hackathons and so on by these awesome communities. Okay, so also for the YouTube, you can search for AWS build on AWS. So there you can see there are some updates. You can see a lot of actually community summit and video and playlist there up there. You can subscribe to the channel and get some updates about it. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. And yeah, that was it. So I really tried to summarize all of this, not summarize, just mention all of the updates that we had. And it was really huge for a student. I really know it will be tough for you to be with me till the end, but it was really hard for you. But I think after this AWS Cloud Club launching and other programs you join, you will gradually know about AWS services, and gradually will know how to what these services mean with your gradual experience. But till then, there are some free services, or you can, as Mustafa mentioned, AWS Skill Builder. Go to AWS Skill Builder and subscribe, and what you can do is like you can get some of the free services from there, but not all of those, because as mentioned, they do need some credit things. But you will get a lot of things, a lot of opportunities from AWS Skill Builder. Just for the cloud practitioner, it is free. Just go there and claim those. And other than this, there are some the other benefits. They You can follow those. You can get those by following the Twitter handle. All of the updates are updated there. So go there, and into the Twitter, go there and search for AWS developers. And yeah, thank you so much for attending the session. And if you have any question, feel free to ask into the comment section. And for the reinvent recap, it was really very, I think it was really huge and a lot of information. And yeah, if you have any feedback to share, you can also go there. And if feedback matters to us, and just bit.ly recap feedback, just do that. We can provide the feedback to AWS, and they will be really happy to help you. So that was it for our session. Actually, it was almost it started from 7 p.m. and almost ending at 9. Right now, we will have just take questions for the next 5 minutes. And depending on the questions today we had, I will choose the winners, and we'll manually actually mail them. Okay, so feel free, obviously, try to have the real name here. And from the registration, I will search your name and I will mail you. So with your AWS goodies. Okay. So yeah, if you have any questions, it doesn't need to be AWS reInvent recap only. And you can also have some question related to AWS user group, how you can join as a student, or what are the benefits you can give. And also, as I am also an AWS community builder, you can ask some questions, how you can be one, these kind of things, or AWS Cloud Club one too. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask one. But yeah, we are going to stop or end our session within the next 5 minutes. So feel free to ask your questions, and feel free to fill up this feedback for if you want to, and it will be really helpful, and it really matters to us. Thank you. Okay, let's see if you have any question or not. Meanwhile, let me go to the AWS Cloud Console and search something for you guys. I think we don't have any questions by now. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask here in the comment sections. We will have we'll end the session within the next few minutes. Okay, so something I would like to mention, I think there are no questions left, and something I would like to mention is like AWS Community Builder or AWS Cloud Club program. So what I saw about AWS Cloud Club program is that it has been designed so perfectly that if you are someone who just want the perks and benefits from AWS Cloud Club program, you are not going to get selected. You have to show your enough community work or enough planning, because into the planning section, just if you just write okay I will do this kind of things, I really think you will not get the chance, because from my experience what I think is that you have to mention for the first month what you are going to do, for the second month what you are going to do specifically. This is something I have actually got to know from a lot of communities, because I've been working with a lot of actually global communities. So I've seen you have to actually try your best to mention what are the specific things you are going to do. So actually when they are going to read your application, they will easily know, okay, this guy is really passionate and this guy is really community driven. So but if you are someone who is something like, yeah, I need some perks, I need some benefits and something like that, they will easily detect, because you will try to skip those questions. You will just try to write okay I just I want to do something, I was to do this kind of things and something. They will not select you, I think, because being a part of AWS Community Builder program, I'm in Community Builder. So it is something like we also need to renew within 1 year. But what we showed is like our community works, and why we want to build the community and how we are going to help our community. So I know there are a lot of community builders from Bangladesh as well, but they are not helping the community. It's really harsh to say, but it's not about Bangladesh as well, it's globally happens, right? But how they filtered out the AWS Cloud Club is like at the end, if you have done so many works, at the end if you train your next cloud club captain, then you're going to get some parts of like the voucher. Because if you're really here for helping community and learn, the previous benefits will cover all of those, right? Like the CV checking and event support and so on. So really I think it will be helpful, and I'm really happy with the AWS Cloud Club program. So thank you again for guys for joining this session, and thank you Zed for it was a night session. Thank you for that. And yeah, see you again in another session. And feel free to subscribe to the channel, the YouTube channel, if you are here in YouTube, and you will get a lot of updates, global GitHub, Microsoft, Google, and AWS updates and sessions here. Okay, so thank you so much for attending, and I will actually mail you guys, those who have won the goodies. I will mail you guys, and if you don't get any updates, feel free to mail me or DM me on LinkedIn. No issues with that. I will reply to you guys as well. Thank you so much for attending, and I'm now going to stop the stream. And yeah, thank you so much again. Assalamu alaikum.